You're listening to Red Light Confession After Dark. Red light means stop, but around here means stop pretending and start confessing. I'm Uno, your host, and this is an 18 plus destination for honest, unfiltered conversation. No names, no identifying information, no judgment, just a safe space intended for anonymous storytelling and discussion, where we discuss the stories, choices, secrets, mistakes, and situations people don't always feel comfortable talking about publicly. So the red light is on. Turn your lights down, turn the volume up, and let's hear the confession. Today's confession was titled Moral Dilemma. Was I wrong? The confession. Title: I slept with my boyfriend's best friend and I liked it. Scenario: I came out of an 8-year relationship where the last 2 years were open. After the relationship ended, I moved to a different city and eventually started dating someone new. Early on, I was upfront with him about my views on relationship. I told him I was comfortable with non monogamy and that I would probably prefer some form of openness over a traditional monogamous relationship. He had never been in an open relationship before, but he said he was open to it. He was actually very curious and would ask about my past experience, what I was comfortable with, and even whether I found any of our friends attractive. During one of the conversations, I casually mentioned a few people. One of them was his best friend, Cam. I didn't think much of it. A few weeks later, my boyfriend invited Cam over to the house. One thing led to another, and the three of us hooked up. After that, I wasn't just it wasn't just a one-time thing. We hung out regularly. Sometimes things became sexual and sometimes we just hung out as friends. There was never an expectation that this was turning into another relationship. We even had a group chat where the three of us communicated. I made a point never to communicate privately with Cam outside of the group chat because he was my boyfriend's best friend and I didn't want there to be any question about what was happening. Apparently that wasn't enough. My boyfriend came increasingly suspicious that Cam and I were secretly seeing each other without him. I later discovered that he had even put a GPS tracker on my vehicle because he wanted to know whether Cam and I were seeing each other behind his back. We weren't. Then one night, while my boyfriend and I were at his place, he said to me, I know Cam is your type because he reminds you of your ex boyfriend or your ex before me. That turned into an argument. Eventually, he told me to get out of his house. So I did, and I never looked back. About a week later, Cam called me. My now ex had apparently confronted him too, accusing both of us of secretly hooking up behind his back. The whole situation exploded. Eventually, my now ex blocked both of us from his life. And here's where the confession actually begins. Within about a week of all this happening, Cam and I met up. This time there was no boyfriend, no group chat, no three-person arrangement, just the two of us. We hooked up. We're not in a relationship, but we've continued seeing each other sexually on and off for more than a year and are good friends. Was I wrong? We never betrayed him while we were together. Cam and I weren't secretly hooking up. His suspicions weren't true when he made them. He ended the relationship with me and cut off his friend with Cam. But then almost immediately afterwards, we ended up doing exactly what he had been paranoid about all along. So, did we betray him after the fact? Or once he ended both relationships, were Cam and I free to do whatever we want? And maybe it's messy. And maybe the messiest question of all, does the fact that Cam and I eventually hooked up somehow validate what my ex suspected, even though it was happening, even though it wasn't happening when he accused us? So this is why I give my opinion. So based off the scenario, I would definitely say the person was not wrong. Um, my morals might be, in some people's opinion, my morals might be lacking. In others, it may not. But I feel this way: if you all if you was upfront with the individual when you started to date that person, saying that, hey, I believe in openness when it comes to a relationship, and then they decided to get on board and they actually invited their best friend over after asking if you found any friends um, attractive, then really it takes the pressure off of you and puts it on that other person, in this case now the now ex, because the now ex opened up the door for the sexual relationship, first off. Secondly, I feel like if I was in that situation, because I believe in open relationships, if you choose to be in an open relationship, I believe in that. Um, any relationship that I get into definitely has to be open. I'm not a jealous person. I'm not a vengeful. I'm not none of that. So, and most of the time when if I have a prospect, I tell my prospect that I came out of a, I came out of a 3 year relationship and I've been single now going about 12 years. Um, Probably a little over 12. Yeah, going 12 years. Um, and that has taught me a lot when I was in that relationship. One the thing, I cannot remain faithful to just one person. I already know that about myself. So, and I knew that about myself before, but I invited chaos into my life around that time, even though the person that I was with knew what I was doing and they didn't bring chaos. I just don't believe in inviting chaos into somebody else's life. So I actually handed back to them. But in this situation, if your ex, to me, if your ex opened the door for you to be in a throuple, in a sense, in a sexual relationship, then that is not on you. That is on the ex. Especially, and then moving forward, when the ex put the GPS on your car, uh, you know, that's a whole different situation, because if it wasn't with the best friend, it probably he would have probably done it elsewhere, because then the jealousy started to come about, right? So for me, I would definitely say this